Hey, what's up guys, it's Mike Tech back again with another video, and today we're going to be upgrading this Lenovo ThinkPad laptop with more memory, 16 gigs and a 1TB hard drive, and I'm going to be teaching you how to upgrade your own laptop as well. So stay tuned and roll the intro. Now the first thing that you are going to be needing to when you upgrade your computer are the parts. There are several different ways that you can find these parts. You can go online, you can Google the make and model and find it. You can also go to a place like Crucial and you can go to their memory module finder and you can find whatever memory module is going to fit inside your computer. You can also go inside your settings and just look it up inside your settings. But there are three things that you're going to need to know whenever you're upgrading your RAM module. Now, number one is printed right here at the top of the package. It says DDR4. You want to make sure that you know what number your computer takes. Is it DDR1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? You want to know these things. Why? Because if you buy the memory and this slot right here where my finger is does not line up with the slot that is inside the computer, it will not fit. So you want to make sure you get the right DDR number for your computer. You also want to make sure you have the right speed for your computer. Most computers can handle a whole bunch of speeds, a very wide range of speeds, but you want to make sure you are inside that range of speeds. And you also want to make sure that you don't exceed the maximum amount of memory that the computer can take. If you buy a 100GB RAM module and you fit it inside your computer, it probably won't work because your computer does not have a capability of using that 100GB RAM module. It might only be able to use 16 gigabytes, but you're trying to put a 100GB module inside your computer, and that's just not going to work. So you want to make sure you know the maximum amount of memory that your computer can take, what DDR number it is, and what is the range of speeds or the maximum speed, and do not exceed any of those. Alright, do not exceed the DDR number, the maximum RAM that it can take, or the maximum amount of gigs of RAM that it can take, and the maximum speed that it can handle. Don't exceed any of those, and make sure to do your homework and find that out before you buy anything. Okay, so that's how to find the RAM. Now, done with the RAM, let's talk about the memory. Alright, or not the memory but the storage. So finding the storage a little bit more harder because there are different types of storage these days. There's SSD hard drives or SSD drives like this here. There is IDE hard drives like this one here with all the little pins here that you can see. Hopefully you can see that. By the way, this is SATA, by the way. This is a SATA drive, and this drive here is a M.2 drive, the latest and greatest that all the new computers are coming with these days. Now, you need to look inside your computer to really find out what type of drive it really uses. Sometimes we can find out on the website. Sometimes we might just have to take it apart. Sometimes we can just Google it on YouTube or Google, whatever you want to do. But you need to know what type of drive your computer takes. Now, some computers like this one here, bam, this is a Asus computer here. This computer doesn't just take one hard drive. Just, if I can get the cover off, this computer doesn't take one hard drive, it takes two. So you can see that there's a hard drive here. This is SATA, 1TB, and you can also see that there's a little slot right here. This is for an M.2 drive. M.2 can fit inside there. So this computer has two different options. You need to make sure you know what options you have inside your computer. If it's a desktop, you need to know. If it's a laptop, you also need to know. So make sure to do your research on what type of storage your computer can take. Now, after finding the storage for your computer, you might also want to look up, how am I going to get the storage or the data off of the computer onto the new drive? So there are plenty of different ways for me to do this. I'm going to show you one, where I'm going to show you more than one actually. One way is with buying something like this. Now this comes with a cable. There you go. Here's a cable. This cable plugs into the drive like so, right? It plugs into the drive, and this is USB 3.0, and then this goes into computer. This is the software goes into the CD drive of your computer. If you don't have a CD drive, I'm going to show some other ones here as well that you can just download. But you plug this inside the computer, you clone your hard drive, and then by cloning, you take the original stuff that is on the computer and you're copying it over to the new hard drive, so that way when you switch the hard drives or the SSDs or whatever it is that you're using, you don't have to worry about losing anything. So that's how you do that. So there are plenty of different ways. You can buy it with a CD, or you can just download it online, do your research. I'm going to put some on the screen now. And those are the ones that I like to use besides the CDs. So find out which one you want to use and go with it. Alright guys, now that you guys finally have all of the parts to upgrade your computer with, now it's time to actually upgrade the computer. So the first things first is we need to talk about actually gaining access to all the stuff inside the computer, and what to do and what not to do, and how not to break your very expensive computer. So let's switch to the other computer so I can actually show you the differences, which this is going to be kind of hard because I got a very small table, but we're going to try and make something work here. So this is my other computer. This is the computer that I showed before. This is the Asus laptop here, Asus gaming laptop. Now you can see here with this computer, it has a panel here, and this one here does not have a panel at all. It doesn't have a panel anywhere on here. So that's one of the main differences. There are a lot of computers that are like this, and there are also a lot of computers like this here as well, but these here are a lot easier to upgrade because it's very simple. There's two screws, one here and one here. You take these two screws out, then you basically take anything, you put it underneath this little hole right here. I'm going to use my finger now because it's easier that way, and it just pops right off. There's the panel, and then you have access to your hard drive, your M.2 if you're going to put in an M.2, and your 2 RAM slots will sit over here. This is a lot easier to upgrade. But for those people who are using a computer that is similar to mine, like a thin and light laptop, it might be a little bit more complicated than that. And also remember to take out the battery as well whenever you upgrade your computer. But if you're using a computer like mine, which I'm going to show you right now, like this is a Lenovo ThinkPad Lenovo laptop. It happens to be one of the thin and light ones. The downside about these laptops is that they don't have any type of access port down here. So if you want to actually upgrade your computer, you need to take all of these screws out that you see here. Hopefully you guys can see them, but there are all of these screws that need to come out, and you also need to remove anything that is inside the computer. This here has a touch screen, so it comes with a stylus here, a little stylus. So you need to take that stylus and set it to the side and take a smudge tool or like a plastic tool like so. So this happens to be one of those little plastic wedging tools that you can put into like spaces where it's very tight, and then just kind of pry them apart, so that you can just get inside of it very gently, because you don't want to ruin this finish that you see here. This is all plastic here, and you don't want to mess up these plastic edges here, because if you do, you can break stuff, and that would be bad, because this computer costs a lot of money. I'm pretty sure you don't want to mess it up. So make sure to get one of these tools, so that way you can take your computer apart when it comes out to these thin and light laptops. And another thing too, you also want to double check to make sure that you can actually upgrade your thin and light laptop, because a lot of these laptops that are thin and light are not meant to be upgraded. That's why they don't have access panels. So you might want to do some more Googling and make sure you can actually upgrade your computer before you actually buy any parts to upgrade your computer with. So now that you've done all of that research and you have gained access to the computer and you have bought the parts for your computer, now we're going to talk about actually upgrading it. So first things first, like I said with the other computer, remove the battery connector. So for me is right here. With these thin and light laptops, the battery is inside the computer, so you can't just take the battery out. You have to actually just unplug the cable. There might be a different way to do it for your computer, so make sure to do research on that. But for this computer, you unplug the cable. So there you go. Now let's start with the RAM. The RAM is the most easiest thing to upgrade. It's very simple. Take the RAM out of the case, which is something that I probably should have did before, but whatever. Take the RAM out of the case. Here you go. It's PNY 16 gigs DDR2 right here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let me get a little bit closer. Right here there are two tabs. There's a tab here where my finger is and another tab over here. You want to pry these two tabs here to the side, like so. Pry them to the side. The RAM memory module comes up towards you. Slide this here out. Set this to the side. Take your new RAM module, which just so happens to be this one here, the 16 gigabyte one. Put it in. Make sure the pin, this pin right here, hopefully my camera can focus. This little slot right here lines up with the slot that's on the actual slot that's on the module or on the socket. Slide it in, make sure it lines up, and push it down. It's only going to go in one way. It does not go in the other way. Trust me, I tried it. It only goes in one way. So now your RAM module is good. You upgraded it. Yay, applause for you. Now on to the next part. Now the next part is going to be the M.2 drive. Now this M.2 drive here has caused me some trouble in the past. I'm going to explain to you why. Now we're going to go ahead and undo this screw real quick. And then after I undo the screw, I will come back and explain to you why it has caused me so much trouble. Alright guys, now we just removed the screw from this M.2 module that you see right here. Now I'm going to explain why this module has caused me so much trouble when it comes down to upgrading it and finding the right M.2 module for it. Now you can see here that it looks like it's very close to the board here. It doesn't look like there's a lot of space around it here. And I'm going to tell you from experience that is very important to take note of. Because I went out and I bought this M.2 module, which if you look at it, you will see that this M.2 module is not only very fancy and is a lot longer than the one that's actually in here. The one that's in here is only this long, but this one's a lot longer. It also has about 512 gigabytes on it, and it's really, really fast if the camera actually focus. But you can also see that this is the top, this is the bottom. This is double-sided, so there's stuff on both sides. That's a bad thing for this computer, and it might be for your computer too. So you need to pay attention to the M.2 drive and make sure that it will actually fit inside your computer, because this one doesn't because it's double-sided. I needed to go back and actually buy another M.2 drive, which is the reason why I have this one here. So this is a Corsair drive, the drive that I've been showing you this whole entire video. And this drive is only single-sided. There's nothing on the other side. It's only on the top. So this drive here will fit. You want to make sure you take note of that for your laptop. Make sure that your laptop will fit the drive that you bought. You want to test it out. If it doesn't fit, send it back. I cannot send this back because I waited too long and now I'm stuck with a drive that I can't use. So make sure to double check the drive and make sure it fits before you actually do anything. So now we take this thing out of the packaging, which is a lot easier said than done. So we're going to take this out of the packaging, put that there. Like I said, remove the screw from the M.2 drive, and then you just want to very carefully pull up on the M.2 drive, and then it will start to release. And then you don't want to pull all the way up, you want to pull and then slide, and then it should just come straight out like so. So don't pry it all the way up because then you'll break it. You just want to pull up enough so that way you can get your hand underneath there, so that way you can slide it out. That's how you want to remove these drives. Each one is different. You want to be very, very careful with it. Some of them you need to come all the way up with it. Some of them you just need to slide it out. It's different from each one. Make sure you take your time and you're very gingerly with it, because if you apply too much force, you're gonna break something. And then the same way you took this out is the same way you put this in. You just want to very carefully slide it inside the slot, very carefully. I'm only using one hand because you do not need to apply any force to this at all. It just slides right inside. If you're applying too much force, then you're messing something up. And now take your screw and reapply the screw. I'm going to do this off camera, so give me 1 second. Alright guys, I just finished installing the screw that you see here on my M.2 drive. So now it's time for not only me, but for you to turn on your computer and enjoy all the upgrades that you have just made to your computer, and hopefully it unleashed a whole bunch of speed that you never had before, and you're just that much more happier of a person because of it. So that's going to be the end of this video. Like I said, putting a computer together is very, very easy. Just do the opposite of what you did to take it apart. Put the top back on, screw all the screws down, make sure you plug your battery cable back in, which is sitting over here where my finger is. Make sure to plug that back in. And then after that, just turn the computer on and hopefully everything works. If it does not work, then you probably messed something up, and you should go back and retrace all of your steps and make sure you did it right. And if it still doesn't work, then take the old parts, put the old parts back inside the computer and try it out then, and it should work that time. If it doesn't work the time, to send it to the factory, because you definitely screwed something up. But hopefully that is not you. Hopefully your computer worked just as good as it did when you first bought it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe to see more videos just like this one here, and go ahead and check me out on my website, and check me out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And like this video and share it with everybody. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Peace out. There you go.